Alright, yan. Magandang araw mga kabatas natin at syempre, Happy New Year na naman. At hindi natin hahayaan na lumipas itong New Year's Day na hindi tayo syempre nakaka-resolve ng ilang mga issues. Tungkol doon kay Poblacion Girl o kaya doon nga kay Gwyneth Chua. Naglabas nga ako ng video, yun nga ho ay yung part 1 na ngayon kasi ito ay part 2 na sinasabi ko doon na malabo, no, or it's a long shot na magkaroon siya ng isang criminal liability o yung makulong siya, 'di ba? Tapos sa kabutiang palad, meron nag-forward po sa atin. Maraming salamat po sa nag-forward tungkol sa sa statement ng Tourism Congress of the Philippines kung saan sinasabi daw na meron siyang criminal liability, and we will discuss that later. We will discuss that later. Tapos, kasama din dyan, dito sa live stream na ito, ay yung mga juicy na comments ng ating mga kabatas natin. Like I said, no, positive or negative comments, either you agree or disagree with me or with anyone in the comment section, it's okay. So babasahin ko yung mga top comments mamaya para tayo ay magkaroon ng isang healthy discussion. No, I also thank you doon sa nagbigay ng kanilang mga opinion, no, kanilang mga idea, kanilang mga sentimiento doon sa comment section na yon. If you want to see, mamaya ipapakita ko naman dito sa screen natin. You can go there personally after this one. At pag hindi nyo pa napanood yung part 1, sana panoorin nyo po, no. Masaya din yon. Let's go to this one, and let's discuss first the criminal liability of Gwyneth Chua o yung Poblacion Girl kung meron nga. Tapos papaliwanag ko sa inyo kung bakit sinabi ko na long shot yun. And of course, all kinds of opinion are entertained. Tapos especially if you're a lawyer, di ba? It would be healthy if you can talk about this too. Panoorin po natin ito dito sa ANC.
Kami masyadong nasabihan, no, kung ano talaga yung timeline. Ang nabanggit nga lang na yan, no, positive, tapos yung lumabas, kagala na yata. So the information parang ginagather pa kasi yung details.
Okay, yun. If you can look at the the statement of the authorities, no, ginagather pa talaga yung information. So, it's too quick, no, or it's hastily to assume at this moment in time na liable na siya sa isang crime. Pero syempre, tulad nga ng sinabi ko, I will discuss that later. Tapos, it is also a hasty generalization to say na siya nga yung nagkalat lahat ng mga yung sakit doon sa kanyang pinuntahan. Kasi in the first place, di ba, it's difficult to pinpoint which is which, di ba? Sino ang talagang kasi there is also a possibility na, 'di ba, kasi he was or she was in the Philippines now when she tested positive, tapos how many or a few days na after. Kaya aalamin siguro, like I said, hindi po ako doktor, and lagi kong sinasabi na when it comes to medical conditions like this, ayoko sana mag-comment. Kaya lang, 'di ba? It is tied up with the legal matter. I'll be discussing the legal matter, 'di ba? In a point per point basis. Tapos yung legal matter siguro, maybe the doctors will talk about that or the authorities will talk about that na lang. No? Ngayon, even though we don't know pa yung actual na timeline kung saan nangyari yung mga bagay-bagay na ito, we can, I think, talk about this one, itong batas na binanggit nila dito.
If proven to be true, the health department says the incident violates Republic Act number 11332, or the mandatory reporting of notifiable diseases and health events of Public Health Concern Act of 2018.
Ito, mga kabatas natin, I think you know well na this has been in existence since pumutok yung COVID-19. 'Di ba? Kasi 2018 ito eh. Ngayon, hindi ba kayo nagtataka kung bakit ngayon lang ito lumabas? Itong batas na ito. Hindi ba kayo nagtataka? Kasi may tsansa na itong batas na ito ay hindi nga applicable doon sa mga nangyayari ngayon in relation to COVID-19. Actually, I also studied this law along with several people and several mayors at iniisip namin kung ano ang pwedeng ipataw sa mga tao na matigas ang ulo at kung applicable nga ito. Pag titingnan nyo kasi yung title pa lang nito, no, title nitong batas na ito, babalikan natin, no, mandatory reporting. 'Di ba? So, doon siya umiikot. Tandaan natin, pag merong batas, ang lagi natin binabanggit, the title should be comprehensive enough para alam ng mga tao kung ano ang nilalaman ng batas na yon. No? Mandatory reporting, it's about reporting of notifiable diseases and health events of Public Health Concern Act of 2018. So, doon siya actually umiikot sa reporting. Di ba? Mamaya pupuntahan natin yung Prohibited Acts. Pakinggan muna natin ito.
Under this law, violators could face fines up to 50,000 pesos or imprisonment from 1 to 6 months. The incident went viral on a social media platform early Thursday morning, with one post getting over 8,000 retweets and 18,000 likes.
Yan. Okay? Sinabi doon yung Section 9. But hindi nila diniscuss yung Section 9. Gagawin natin, dahil nasa batas natin tayo, we will discuss Section 9. Ano kasi nakalagay doon sa Section 9 nung batas na yon? Yun ay yung Prohibited Acts. Sa lahat ng batas, ito yung pinaka-importante at ito yung pinaka-juicy. Bakit? Ito yung mga bagay-bagay na hindi mo dapat gawin para hindi mo labagin, no, yung batas na pinag-uusapan. So, Section 9, ito, the following shall be prohibited under this Act. Letter A, unauthorized disclosure of private and confidential information pertaining to a patient's medical condition or treatment. 'Di ba? Alam nyo, no, nung umpisa ng ating laban sa COVID-19, 'di ba? Ang tawag sa kanila patient 1, patient 2, patient 3, patient 4. Why? Because even their names or the patient's names are confidential information. Pati yung mga tao na kanilang nakasalamuha, they are considered confidential information. Tapos, if you remember well, for someone or someone's name to be disclosed as being affected by COVID-19, kailangan ng kanyang express consent. 'Di ba? Kaya pag naaalala nyo noon yung mga artista na naapektuhan ng COVID-19, for them to raise awareness, they give their express consent to disclose the name at syempre yung experience din nila at yung kanilang treatment. Why? Actually, mga kabatas natin, no, ito ang malaking pwedeng mag-turn yung tables dito. Because Gwyneth Chua now is a patient with a medical condition. No? And you tried, or some people tried, to disclose private and confidential information like the place where she lives. 'Di ba? Kasi nag-witch hunt na eh. Tinitignan kung saan siya nakatira, saan siya galing, saan siya nag-aaral, sino yung mga magulang niya, ano yung background niya. 'Di ba? That is a patient's medical that may be that is private and confidential information, no? Siyempre pati pero tandaan natin, no, it pertains to the medical condition. So yung sasabihin niyo na siyempre pag siya ay infected, 'di ba? Tapos anong klaseng treatment ang ginagawa sa kanya, mag-ingat-ingat tayo, 'di ba? Yung sinasabi ko kanina, no, mga kabatas natin, lilinawan ko lang, yung address niya, yung lugar niya, no, yung mga pag-dock sa kanya, that is against the Privacy Act, Data Privacy Act, no? At saka syempre, papasok diyan yung diniscuss na natin nung umpisa na Safe Spaces Act, yeah? Pero yung medical condition niya, 'di ba? Because it is disease, 'di ba? The disease of public concern, 'di ba? Confidential yung mga information na 'yon, mag-ingat-ingat tayo diyan. Kaya nga diniscuss ko dun sa umpisa na, 'di ba? Patient A, patient B, tapos nagkaroon siya ng or patient 1, patient 2, tapos nagkaroon siya ng particular na interactions with some people, tapos hindi rin mini-mention yung mga tao na 'yon. 'Di ba? Tapos ito, letter B, no, section 9, tampering of records or intentionally providing misinformation. 'Di ba? Itong mga records na ito or yung misinformation na ito, this pertains to the medical condition or the treatment ng isang tao. Alright? Yun ang tandaan natin dito because this is, after all, nakalagay dito, mga kabatas natin, no? Prescribing procedures on surveillance in response to notifiable diseases, epidemics, and health events of public concern. 'Di ba? So ito tungkol law on reporting communicable diseases. So itong tandaan natin dito, uh, if the records that you are tampering with, dapat kunwari ilalagay mo yon na infected ka, hindi ka naman infected. So it is tampered, 'di ba? Yung mga misinformation na ginagawa mo, 'di ba? Pero kunwari yung nangyari nga sa kanya um, na pinalaya siya sa quarantine dahil binayaran niya, 'di ba? Pinalaya siya sa quarantine dahil binayaran niya. Is it tampered or was the records actually tampered? I don't think so, 'di ba? Na-tamper ba yung medical records? Hindi. Ang nangyari doon pinalaya lang siya, hindi naman sinabi, kasi ito ang tampering dyan. Like for example, kailangan niyang ma-quarantine ng 5 days or 10 days or 14 days. Tapos sinabi doon na nag-quarantine siya ng 5 days or 4 days or a number of days. Kaya lang, hindi pala siya nag-quarantine. Pero kung truthful naman, yung nakalagay doon sa records na imbes na mag-quarantine siya, hindi siya nag-quarantine at naka-reflect doon na lumaya na siya agad o umalis na siya agad. Tapos honest yung nakalagay doon sa records, no, na hindi niya lang sinunod, then it's not tampering, 'di ba? Hindi lang nasunod yung tamang procedure. It was not tampered but the procedure was not followed. So, sa letter B, hindi rin siya papasok. 'Di ba? Ito, non-operation of the disease surveillance and response systems. Well, irrelevant yan sa kasong ito. Letter D, non-cooperation of persons and entities that should report or respond to notifiable diseases or health events of public concern. I think it was reported well naman na. Tapos siya naman, nung nalaman niya na mayroon siyang virus, di ba, nag-quarantine na siya o quinarantine na siya, whether or not she liked it. Di ba? So, I think wala rin dito sa letter C kasi wala namang reports o wala naman tayong nakita na hindi siya nag-cooperate, no, once na nalaman na meron siyang disease na nakuha. Tandaan kasi natin, mga kabatas natin, no, hindi naman presumed kasi na may disease siya nung umpisang pagpunta niya pa lang dito. 'Di ba? Ngayon, nung nalaman na o na-diagnose na siya na may disease siya, doon na papasok dito. 'Di ba? Doon na papasok ito na kapag ikaw ay meron na yung disease o yung COVID-19, doon na. 'Di ba? Hindi naman parang ako kailangan ko ng or I am subject under this particular law na without me even being diagnosed of a disease of public concern. Hindi pwede 'yon, 'di ba? Walang presumption na ikaw ay may sakit. 'Di ba? So like I said, ang violation niya doon at most is the violation of the protocols. 'Di ba? Kasi during that time, he was not diagnosed yet. She was not diagnosed yet. Tandaan natin, kapag tayo ay pupunta rin sa Pilipinas, no, before, like for example me, I'll be going home to the Philippines, bago ako pumunta ng Pilipinas, they will be requiring me to have an RT-PCR test. 'Di ba? If the test that I undertook is positive, hindi ako makakabiyahe. 'Di ba? So itong si Gwyneth Chua, for sure kaya siya nakabiyahe at nakapunta sa Pilipinas dahil nga nag-negative siya sa RT-PCR dito sa abroad, no? Tapos cooperation of the person or entities identified, 'di ba, as having the notifiable disease or affected by the health event of public concern. So ito, yung tao na yon, nag-cooperate ba siya? I think so, no? After that witch hunt, syempre magko-cooperate ka, di ba? Ito, no, itong persons or entities na should report and or respond, syempre ito dito, yung mga tao na gumagawa ng testing. Di ba? Yung mga medical professionals natin, dapat i-notify yung mga tao. So, pag titignan mo dito, no? Pag titignan mo dito, from letter A to E, no, malabo talaga na maging liable siya dito because Hindi pa naman siya well, yung generic dito is hindi pa siya na diagnose as having a communicable disease nung nag-party-party siya. 'Di ba? A disease of public concern. Kaya medyo malabo nga na mangyari doon. Tignan pa natin itong panghuli. Disclosure of confidential information will not be considered violation of this act under this section if the disclosure was made to comply with the legal order issued by a court of law with competent jurisdiction. Siyempre, 'di ba? Ganun naman lagi. 'Di ba? Ngayon, let's go to the comment section, which is very interesting, no? Hati yung mga kabatas natin, which is good din. Why? Because we like arguments here in batas natin, di ba? Tingnan natin, nakalagay dito, sabi niya, si James Cardenas, 3 hours ago, I think this is the top comment. Hindi ko ina-arrange yung top comment dito, tsaka wala tayong pin comment. Gusto ko kasi organically makita kung ano yung dinedetect ni Google na ano. Hindi naman necessarily kasi na yung nasa taas dito, yun yung latest comment. Kasi tignan nyo ito, 3 hours ago, 7 hours ago ito. Second comment, yung 7 hours ago, yung 5 hours ago, third comment. So, hindi ganon. Tignan, basahin natin sabi ni James Cardenas. Sabi niya, when someone's falling out of their place at the top, people are quick to drag them down faster. I can understand yung points kung bakit di pa siya currently subject to imprisonment. Mali naman talaga si ate girl sa ginawa niya, pero that doesn't mean that people could just say whatever and call it a day. Tama yun, no? You should also be responsible as a person of the internet. Di ba? Bilang isang tao na nasa social media, bilang isang tao na nakakahulubilo dito, tandaan natin, hindi porke hindi natin sila nakikita, hindi na natin sila nasasaktan. Di ba? Tandaan natin, hindi porke hindi tayo nakikita, hindi na tayo nakakagawa ng krimen. Di ba? Alam natin na madami ang crab mentality sa Pinas or yung mga taong headliners na sa headlines lang nagbe-base ng opinions. Kaya bawas-bawasan sana natin yung mga troll kasi para sa iba, totoo ang tingin nila dyan. Tama yun. No? We cannot really justify our violation but at the same time, we cannot also justify the slander directed towards her. Di ba? Yeah, thank you for pointing that out, James Cardenas. Sure, unavoidable yung negative opinion sa kanya, pero yung idea na witch hunt seems a little bit overboard. Happy New Year. Yan, Happy New Year sa'yo. Of course, tama yun, no? The witch hunt. Tapos ito, this is a person who is still young, no? Starting her life as a person, finding her place on earth, 'di ba? And we subject her to this kind of bullying online, witch hunt. No, nobody deserves that. If she deserves a fine, give her a fine. If she deserves imprisonment, give her imprisonment. 'Di ba? Yung batas ang magdidikta, hindi ikaw. 'Di ba? Ito si Sherwin, sabi niya naman, Attorney, I think you missed the more important point of her violating the health and safety protocols. Alam nyo, Sherwin, that's a given already. Tulad nga ng sinabi ko, no? I don't even have to say that anymore. Why? Because I'll be echoing the millions of people who already said that. 'Di ba? Remember, dito sa batas natin, we have the aphorism na odi alteram partem. Hear or listen to the other side. 'Di ba? Kaya nakikita nyo dito minsan I have or our community no has the unpopular opinion. Bakit? Kasi nga, sometimes, the unpopular opinion needs to be heard. Or most of the time, or always. Diba? You have to look at every angle. Bawat anggulo dapat tinitignan, dapat inuusisa. Kasi nga, baka yung anggulong yun, no, ay yung tamang anggulo. Diba? I understand your concern about witch hunting, but with the seriousness of the COVID situation, you can't blame the people. Yan. Well, ito nga ang sasabihin ko rin siguro dito, no, Sherwin. Maybe I cannot blame the people, but maybe I can change, or our community can change the people, or how people think. Diba? Because of course, that is not the proper way to address the situation. By you bullying this girl, by you calling this girl names, witch hunting, doxing, Di ba? Slander, defamation. Do you think you solved the COVID-19 situation? Sa tingin mo ba you were part of the solution in relation to fixing or overcoming COVID-19? Or you just added another problem, 'di ba? Or, 'di ba, you committed acts which are also illegal. Sana 'yun ang tignan natin, 'di ba? Just because someone is wrong, it doesn't mean we can also wrong him or her. Lagi nating sinasabi sa batas natin 'yan, 'di ba? Ito, and I think this is not a matter of her being beautiful and rich. That angle for me is irrelevant. The bottom line is that she breached the protocols. Di ba? Well, siguro, yun nga, no? Pero tulad nga ng sinabi ko sa inyo, that is the recipe for virality. Ganun yan. No? Sabi niya, ito si kasi may mga sumagot rin kay Sherwin Lagonoy. Sabi niya, ito si Victorian Castle. Maayos din yung kanyang sagot, no. That angle is important. There are a lot of poor people in Metro Manila walking without masks in public places. Manila and Pasig, they are not canceled. But she's rich and pretty, so there is a mass movement against her. May punto rin si Victorian Castle. Me, I go to a lot of places, especially when the courts opened, no? Tapos umiikot-ikot kami doon, ang daming ang hindi nakamasks. Ang daming, well, punta ka sa iski-iskinita. 'Di ba? Nagiinuman sila doon, they're having a party. Meron ngang mga nagba-basketball, merong gumagawa ng mga bagay na against the protocols. Pero did it have this kind of mass movement? Wala. Bakit? Because there is no recipe. The recipe for the virality of such particular actions are not present. Diba? Diba? Ito, witch hunting and doxing. Totoo yun, no? Sorry, I don't agree. If an ugly and poor person did the exact same thing as she did, the people's level of anger would be the same. Sabi ni Sherwin Lagonoy. Maybe, no? Pero I've seen people already. Tulad nga ng sinabi ko, even if you go to Metro Manila tapos mag-picture ka ng mga tao na gumagawa ng ganyan. Siguro yung neighborhood na lasenggero nyo, yung mga lasenggero nyo, tignan nyo. No? Yung mga, hindi ko naman sinasabi na merong ganun, no? Pero syempre, parang sa Diablo kasi. Doon ko natutunan yun sa Diablo na game. Yung Diablo 1 pa lang, no? Merong neighborhood na drunk. Yun. Tingnan nyo kung ano yung mga ginagawa niya. And syempre, marami ang hindi ayon sa protocols. Pero they don't get canceled. Di ba? Sabi ni Jonas, there is a big difference between people here na wala pang Omicron versus sa taong galing sa bansa na may mataas na case ng Omicron variant. Yan. Ito, I think, hindi informed masyado si Jonas because sa Philippines, meron na tayong Omicron variant. Even before Christmas, meron na tayo. The protocol was intentionally breached. Ito na nangyari sa atin 2 years ago, including Coco Pimentel, sabi niya. Well, the protocol was intentionally breached. Yeah. I agree with you. You can't justify her mistake by pointing another mistake. She is not being canceled. People are making her liable. Oh, no, Jonas, I don't agree. No. The people are not making her liable because if you make someone liable, you put them under under the law. 'Di ba? Give her the penalty that she deserves. 'Di ba? The people, witch hunting nga ang ginawa, the people doesn't have the ang tawag doon, the law in their hands. Para sila ang gumawa ng kapurasohan o sabihin, that's very primitive. Hindi na tayo dapat ganun. And social media made us go back to the primitive mindset of people na they can do anything they want without impunity. Na hindi sila mapaparusahan, and that is not good, no? It's not the people, no? It's not the people na dapat nagbibigay ng parusa dito. 'Di ba? Liability is not equal to cancellation if you don't know yet. Yan. Yan si Jonas, I don't agree, no. That's not being liable, no. hindi yon yung sinasabi ng batas natin na parusa niya. Chase Am sabi niya, nagdala siya ng Omicron variant. Gets mo, madami sa amin nagko-quarantine to help stop the spread. Check your facts. Yan, ito. You don't have facts yet, Chase M. Tulad nga ng sinabi doon, hindi pa nila alam. Diba? And like I said, Omicron was already in the Philippines. Even before I went here to the States. Tinatanong ko, well, syempre, I have resources. And if you check, no, if you check your facts, you will know na meron na. No, I agree on this one, sabi niya. Nakakatawa, you're emphasizing pretty, hindi naman siya kagandahan sa paningin ko. Yan. Na syempre, ang pretty kasi it's subjective. Di ba? Depende yan dun sa tumitingin. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, sabi nga nila. You must know beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. O, alam niya naman pala, malamang may pera siya kasi sa US siya nag-aral. But it doesn't stop her from thinking and acting irresponsible. Goes to show, hindi lahat nag-aaral sa US ginagamit utak. Malamang friendship over na rin siya sa mga kaparty niya, I bet. Also, it came from one of her friends na nagpasikat, nagpa-viral sa kanya. So, yes, it was crab mentality, but it was first from her so-called party friends. Pero ito, no, yung sinasabi nyo na beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. Let's admit it. No, if she is not, si Carolina, if she is not pretty for you, maybe let's talk about the generic definition of a pretty individual. Let's admit it, no? For most people, no, men and women alike, she is pretty. Diba? Maybe not up to the standards of other people, pero if you will gauge it, parang ito yung normal lang na tao, 'di ba, na hindi naman kapritihan, nandun siya angat siya ng konti doon, 'di ba? We can admit that, I guess. Sabi niya, actually, ito si Nifty Guitar. Actually, nung nabalitaan ko yan, hindi ko tinanong kung maganda, pangit, mayaman, mahirap. Ngayon ko lang nalaman na pretty at rich yung tao. Na bad trip ako sa ginawa niya kahit nag-iisip ako na mag-assume at alamin lahat. Nawalan kami ng ibang friends at relatives dahil sa COVID. Yung sinasabi na na hindi tayo affected, nagdi-disagree ako doon. Yan. Well, of course, no? Yung sinasabi ko kasi yung direct effect sa iyo. No, as a person, because you were not in close contact naman, and yung reaction ng ibang tao doon sa particular na event na yon, if it is actually necessary, diba? O kaya if it is even called for, diba? Sabi ni Sister Castro, kapag lumabas sa protocols, dapat may consequences. Matanda na tayo. Wala nang kinalaman ng pagiging rich or pretty. Yeah, may consequences naman. Hindi naman siya pretty for me. Yeah. At hindi na dapat tayo nagtuturo bakit si ganito hindi napaparusahan kahit lumabag sa protocols. People need to be responsible for their actions. Totoo yun. Well, tama rin yung sinasabi niya. Pero ang sinasabi ko kasi, if you go back there, is about the witch hunt and the recipe for the virality of a particular event or situation. Nag-check kasi lahat yon, diba? Kaya naging viral. I'm sure if she is not pretty, if she is not rich, it will not reach that levels of virality, diba? Ito, sabi niya, regardless of the backlash, having the intent of her own convenience at the expense of the other safety doesn't sit well to me. And I wonder if there is a test that can determine the exact time that she got the virus. I don't know, no. Malamang wala. I haven't heard of it. Pero I'm not a doctor. I'm a lawyer. Ito, sabi ni Conan, isa pang problema sa isyong ito is bullying ang ginagawa ng iba. If she violated the law, let the law give her the justice she deserved. Pero hindi ba dapat pagtuunan ng pansin ng mga tao sa mga quarantine facilities? Kasi sa tingin ko, sila talagang problema. Totoo nga yun, no? Bakit siya yung tinitira? Hindi yung quarantine facility na nagpabayad. In the first place, they are equally liable. Diba? Pero hindi kasi maganda yung quarantine facility, pero siguro mayaman yung quarantine facility. What do you think? Diba? Sabi ni Moypan, di mo rin masisisi kung bakit galit ang mga tao sa kanya. Ako personally, galit ako, hindi sa kanya, kundi sa ginawa niya. Good. Ako, sumusunod ako sa health protocols mula sa simpleng social distancing, face shield, face mask, Kung di naman essential ang lakad, pinagliliban na lang. Totoo 'yon, no? Ah, pero syempre, you can be angry. Ito si Moipan, iba kasi yung ano eh, iba yung galit ka, tapos iba yung gumagawa ka ng bagay na hindi maganda dahil galit ka. Diba? Those are two different things. And we should also learn the difference. Hindi porke galit ka, pwede mo nang gawin yan. Diba? Okay lang na galit ka. You have the right to be angry. But you don't have the right to defame people. You don't have the right to violate the law. Kahit gaano man kagalit yung nararamdaman mo. Diba? Ito, sana i-elaborate. Ito, iniisip nila, may nabasa ako dito noon na may nabasa ako na comment dito. Siguro ito yung panguhuli ko. Hindi ko na mahanap eh. Pero nung nagbasa ako ng comment, napanood ko yon. Sabi doon, I can't remember the person who commented. Pero ang sabi niya, hindi naman dahil maganda at mayaman siya, bakit si Wamos daw tsaka yung girlfriend niya nag-viral, hindi naman, pangit naman daw si Wamos, di ba? Well, that's yung term niya, no? Pero let's admit the fact na si Wamos kasi, yung parang pagiging pangit, syempre it's also subjective, di ba? Yun, yung pinagkakalandakan niya kasi doon siya sikat. Di ba? So ngayon, don't cancel me for saying that because siya mismo, no, ina-admit niya 'yon. Ngayon, pag ikukumpara mo siya dito, no, at yung naging viral yung kay Wamos, it's because may maganda rin nakasama. 'Di ba? Ang narrative doon isang pangit, no, merong magandang girlfriend. Meron pa rin yung maganda, so hindi mo pwedeng i-compare. 'Di ba? Hindi mo pwedeng i-compare. Hindi pwedeng distinct sila from each other. Kasi pareho sila eh. Meron pa rin yung recipe ng kagandahan. Pag titignan mo, hindi si Wamos, papatok ba siya ng ganon kapag kunwari hindi kagandahan yung girlfriend niya? Kasi nga, ang sinasabi ng lahat dun, sana all, di ba? So you cannot isolate the fact na dahil may pangit doon, kasi meron pa rin maganda. Dahil pangit si Wamos, kasi meron pa rin siyang maganda na recipe. Kaya nga, naging viral. No? Anyway, mga kabatas natin, maraming salamat. Ang gagawin ko siguro, I hope I have the time later na pag nagising na kayo, I will have a live stream. Kasi 4:57 na diyan sa Pilipinas. I live stream para mag-usap tayo tungkol sa mga New Year's resolution natin. Para that will be interesting at saka makita natin kung sino yung magko-commit. Maraming salamat mga mods, maraming salamat sa lahat ng kabatas natin na who's been always there since hindi naman kahit day one, pero since they discovered itong batas natin, yung mga parts ng community na napaka-importante, kayo yun. Maraming salamat, no. Let's continue the arguments. Tandaan natin, hindi importante na pare-pareho tayo ng opinion. Ang importante diyan, meron tayong opinion at yung opinion natin, no, pinag-aralan natin na mabuti. 'Di ba? Para namang hindi ma-mislead yung mga tao. Yan, maraming salamat ulit. At lagi po natin tandaan, matulog po tayo na mahimbing dahil alam natin na yung natutulog na mahimbing, siya yung laging panalo. Paalam po pansamantala.